Hey everybody. So, something crazy happened. I reached 100 subscribers! I'm still kind of in shock because this was like the only goal I set for myself. My thought process on the upward trajectory just like stops there. Like that was like the impossible goal. How do we get to 100 subscribers? That's so many people. There's so many people here now. Hi, welcome. Like what's the next goal? 1,000? That seems actually, like this seemed impossible. That seems actually impossible. I did not have like any conceivable 1,000 anything in my brain. But guess what? Guess what? I've already beat that too in views. This has happened in like a week. Before, my most viewed video was my first video ever, and that was over 4 years. I started this channel 4 years ago now, which I guess makes sense. 4 is my lucky number. I'd always hoped that maybe 2024 would be my year. I would always say 2024 is gonna be my year. And I think it has been so far. I'm just, amazed. Yeah, wow, crazy. That's just crazy. The last time we did a Q&A was in 2022, so it's been a while, and I definitely feel like I've gotten, I mean, it would make sense that the more subscribers I get, the more questions I get too, but I feel like I've gotten so many questions, so thank you all so much, everyone who sent a question in. I hope I made it a little bit easier this year. Let me know if that was a good way to do it, and we'll continue doing that moving forward, though hopefully hopefully as we go forward I'll have more exciting videos to celebrate milestones such as this. I don't plan to do Q&As forever. We'll just jump into the questions because I don't know how many. I might even have to cut some. I might even have to cut some for time. That would be, if your question gets cut, I'm so sorry. It's not personal. It's not personal. Look at me. It's not personal. I love you. I love each and every one of you so much. I think I'm gonna break these questions up into categories. So kind of more questions about me personally, questions about my YouTube channel, and questions about Persona. Because boy oh boy did we get a lot in that category. Oh, and then the fourth category over here for oxenfree, because that is always present, as it should be. But yes, for those who are new here, hi, my name is Rain, but everyone's called me Digi for a million years, so you can do that as well. At the time of recording this, I'm 27. I'm asexual, but biromantic, and those are my identifiers, I guess. So, let's do this. Let's do it! First question. When is the next Persona video coming out? No rush. Love your work. Thank you so much. Soon. I'm not gonna give anything specific, but I will say it will come out at some point during July. In some ways it's going a lot faster. I already have a lot more of it done at this stage than I did with the first one, but it has its own new set of difficulties that I'm anticipating taking a little bit of time to figure out, but definitely not very much time. I think it's going to be a lot smoother than you would expect considering my track record. You're so, oh my god, sorry, this is such a glowing review of me as a person. I'm a little bit taken aback. Thank you so much. Who was your first favorite Persona character? Ooh, from any of the games? Definitely Makoto Nijima, because I played Persona 5 first. I was kind of going through this phase, which is why I ended up connecting with FemC so strongly as well, and just not playing Makoto. Yuki. For those of you not in the know, there's a Makoto in both Persona 3 and Persona 5. It's a whole thing. Yeah, we hate it. I was going through this thing where I was really desperate for female characters. I guess in things that are anime or anime adjacent specifically, to connect with female characters that I felt like kind of looked like me, you know, short brown hair, that weren't like, ooh, you know what I mean? Realistic female characters that weren't moe and all that. So I remember I really connected with Makoto for that reason. I was like, oh my god, she's just like me for real. I still do love her very dearly, but I think of the Persona 5 cast, my favorite in that game has kind of grown to be Yusuke or maybe Futaba. And if you mean Persona 3, it was Akihiko. I'll talk about it a little bit more in my actual Reload series, so I won't say too much right now. What is your favorite Junpei moment from Persona 3 Reload? Ooh, I don't want to spoil too much, because again, we're gonna see some of my reactions. The first thing that popped into my mind is his last linked episode. Because it's exclusive to Reload, I would say that's a good pick. I was so ecstatic about that. You'll see how ecstatic I was about that. But it is hard to pick just one, because just crushed it. All of my favorite line reads in that game are from Junpei. Reload Junpei is just truly superior. How did you get into Persona? Sorry to disappoint you, it's very uninteresting. An ex got me into it. We started going out around the time Persona 5 came out. They were a fan. But at the very least, I'm very glad that I got into it. Do you remember the first time you played Oxenfree? Fairly vividly, yes. It was February 2nd, Groundhog Day. Very fitting. Did not know how fitting it was gonna be at the time. I was recommended it because it was Telltale alumni, you know, and I was really big into Telltale games. But I went into it kind of like trepidatiously, I guess. It ended up really hooking me, and I just played it straight through. I remember I finished almost around exactly midnight, and I also remember the Truth or Slap scene, the first time I played through that. I remember being like, Nona and Clarissa are like instantly my favorite characters. I stepped away from that game being like, Alex and Jonas are cool, I guess. Ren, not so much. But Clarissa and Nona, that's my main takeaway from the game, is Clarissa and Nona are neat, and they should kiss. Which I still, you know, I still like mostly hold those opinions. I still think that Nona and Clarissa are fantastic characters, and I would still say Clarissa is one of my favorite characters, if not my favorite character. I still go back and forth now all the time, but I fell way more in love with Jonas and Ren and Alex after that. Holy fuck. Like, I look back on that and I'm like, what is wrong with you? What? Who hurt you? And when I got the ending, dude, when I got to the ending, I remember my heart sinking. I can still recall exactly what that sinking, that feeling is gonna stick with me forever. I remember that feeling so vividly. What most stayed with you during Oxenfree 2? This is, really the thing that keeps coming back to me are certain quotes. I find that Oxenfree 2 is very quotable in kind of a very different way from the original Oxenfree. There's definitely a lot of funny things that they say in Oxenfree 2, but nowhere near to the extent that the first one is. The first one, almost all the quotes are things that make me laugh. I think that the dialogue in the first one is so witty and so charming. And again, there is stuff like that in the second Oxenfree, like, you frass that sass. But yeah, I find like really like hard-hitting emotional one-liners in that game coming back to me all the time. Let me get this one exactly correct because it's so important to me. This is the one that I keep coming back to. This is one of the most important ones to me, and it's so simple. It's spoilers for Oxenfree 2. Okay, it's Rex, future Rex, saying, I think I turned out pretty okay. I wash my clothes twice a month and everything. To me, it communicated like, I don't need to be perfect at self-care to deserve to be happy. What was the biggest surprise you experienced from doing YouTube videos, positive or negative or neutral? Positive. I wasn't expecting people to be so nice. That's really sad, but it's really true. I have received like nothing but kindness in my time on YouTube so far. I don't expect it to last, but I was expecting it to be a lot harder at the beginning, and I expected that it would get easier as it went, but that has not been the case. What are some things that you've always thought about doing on the channel, but haven't tried yet? Also, if you were to play a multiplayer or co-op game for the channel, what game or games would it be? There's actually quite a few things that I want to do on this channel eventually, and I know people say that you shouldn't like mix media on your channel, you should make separate channels for different types of videos, but like YouTube, I don't give a fuck. I have stand a small indie game for the majority of this channel. That's all I have done. I'm gonna do whatever I want in this channel, and people are gonna watch or not. Yeah, there's a lot coming. Mainly, I would really like to start doing video essays. Quite different from my current content. I've just been doing kind of react content for forever. I mean, I'm never gonna stop. This is a Let's Play channel first and foremost, okay, let me get that clear. I will be mostly playing video games for the foreseeable future because that's my main passion. But I would say my second main passion and why I like video games so much is media analysis and dissection and discussion. The only reason I haven't done that so far is that takes a lot of effort, a lot of research, and a lot of time, which currently I do not have the capacity for, but I'm getting there. So I would say, hopefully, in the next couple years or so, we can get at least one video essay out. That's kind of a goal for me right now. I have quite a few ideas already, and also at least 3 in early writing stages. Multiplayer game, because I would like to like play a game with my audience. That's always something that's interested me. I just had to wait until I had had one, but I do now. So it might actually happen quite soon because there's a new Super Monkey Ball that just came out on the Switch. Apparently like 1 million people can play at the same time. Like, that would be fun. Ooh, are you gonna do another horror video for Halloween? Never too early for spooky season. You are so right. In this house, in my brain, it is spooky season 24/7. You best believe it. Yeah, I would love to go back to doing horror videos for Halloween. I'd say it's been at least 3 years since I posted a proper Halloween video. That cannot stand. I already have a couple in mind. There might be multiple. We'll see. But I absolutely plan to do a horror video for Halloween this year. I pinky promise. What do you like about Twitch and what do you like about YouTube? Great question. For those of you who may or may not know, I also started live streaming this year. So everything that you're going to be seeing in the Persona 3 Reload series is something that I streamed on Twitch. I might switch to streaming on YouTube eventually. I love YouTube as a platform. This is where I want my main audience to be. We hate Amazon, and if I ever get monetized, I don't want my money to be coming from or going to them. I would much rather that be something that happens on YouTube. Twitch is great because I really work very well off of other people, I have found. I feel like I am at my best, both comedically and just emotionally, when I have other people to bounce off of. I spent a lot of time thinking that I was an introvert, and I think that that's not true. I think I'm actually very extroverted. I just have social anxiety. But Twitch is a great way to combat that because I don't have to make eye contact, you know, so a lot of my nervous traits that make in real life conversation distracting for me still. So much more proud, I guess, of the things that we are able to discuss and the words I'm able to get out of my head when someone is like encouraging me in real time. I feel like the quality of my work really shines when other people are part of it. But I will say what I really do like about YouTube and like just uploading isolated videos is that I can perfect it. I have a lot of hang-ups about not being eloquent enough and not speaking my mind. That's another reason why I started live streaming, to kind of try and get my stream of consciousness to be more coherent, because one of the worst things about my anxiety is that I blank out, you know, and words just kind of leave me. And with YouTube, I can start and stop and I can just cut it. Whereas live stream, I'm just babbling. I'm gonna say something that's stupid at some point. That was something that kept me away from live content for a very long time because I was so self-conscious of that. But yeah, being able to like really perfect things, it's very important to me, to really make sure I'm putting out the best quality version of something that I can. What has been your favorite game to stream so far? I mean, it's just kind of Persona 3 Reload. I mean, that was like basically the whole first half of this year for me was playing Persona 3 Reload. That was like 200 hours of my stream lifetime right there. I did not start streaming that long ago, but I will say at the time of filming this, we're about halfway through Tracks of Thought, an indie game that we saw on Summer Game Fest, the Wholesome Games Direct. I've really been enjoying it. If you're looking for a cute gay time, I would definitely recommend checking it out. I'm probably going to turn it into a video somewhere between the second and third Reload video because I am just eating it up with a spoon. It's so adorable. What are you most looking forward to streaming next? I don't actually know, because a lot of the games that I'm excited to play next I'm probably not gonna stream. I would really like to stream I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. That is one of my favorite video games of all time, and I'm not sure how else to introduce people to it. It's one of those games that's best experienced in its entirety, and I do mean it in its entirety, like every single ending, every single achievement, the works. So even though I've played it multiple times, I would love to stream that. I'm definitely planning on streaming it. I'm not sure when, but I'm planning to, because more people need to know about it. More people need to experience it. It's very special. It is a beautiful, special game. Is there any game you regret playing? Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of games I've regretted playing, but for my channel, I have kind of an interesting, I think I mentioned this at the beginning of my Witch's House video forever ago. For that year for Halloween, I was going to actually upload a video of me playing Misao, because Mad Father was my favorite game in the like horror RPG maker kind of genre. You can even call it a genre. And that game touched on some topics that I severely morally disagree with. It honestly ruined Mad Father for me. If the same person who made that game could make that game and say that stuff, it pissed me off. It really did. And they really wait until that last second to kind of drop a bomb on you. So I had the whole thing recorded, and I remember just sitting there after I finished it like, I can't upload this. I just so vehemently disagree with some of the stuff in this game. I feel it is insanely unacceptable. And it was like the day before Halloween. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. But I calmed myself down. I asked people specifically like, hey, can you recommend me an RPG Maker horror game that is not abhorrent? And people said Witch's House was good. So I ended up very last minute playing that super fast, editing it super fast, and uploading it at like midnight on Halloween. But yeah, for this channel specifically, I think that's the only one game that I regretted playing it so bad that I didn't even upload it. I didn't even begin editing it. What was your first favorite video game? That would have to be The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. To this day, it is the only Zelda title I have played from beginning to end, let alone multiple times. I do believe I could have gotten a fucking speedrun record in that game at the ripe young age of like 12. I haven't played it since I was a kid. I would love to revisit it and see exactly what it was about it that I loved so much, because it's just been so long now. I couldn't tell you, but I was hyper focused. I just fell off with Zelda. I tried to play, I think it was Spirit Tracks after that, because again, really my only console I had was the DS, but I just never finished it for whatever reason, and I haven't really returned to Zelda since. I'm gonna have to return to it, and Zelda in general at some point. I need to play the entire Zelda series, because I have truly missed out on, I feel, a very core part of gaming. How often do you listen to the soundtracks of games you've played? See, this is interesting because almost never. And I feel like that's controversial. I feel like that's not very common. I associate the soundscape of a game so much with the experience of playing it. It almost feels like kind of wrong for me to listen to the soundtrack separate from the game, because it's so integral to the entire experience to me. I feel like it would like ruin the magic a little bit if I just listened to the music on its own too often. That's not to say it never happens, you know. Neo, The World Ends With You specifically, I've said many times that that's my favorite soundtrack of all time in video games, and I still stand by that. It actually just sounds like stuff that you would play on the radio. That's why it's such a good soundtrack, so that one kind of gets a pass, I guess. I can't help but actually just listen to it. Not often, but definitely, you know, enough. But like with Oxenfree, for example, I cannot even begin to remember a time other than listening to the vinyls on this channel that I have listened to the soundtrack outside of playing the game. It's that important to me. I either listen to it in the game or I forget the name. That's actually one of the things I'm self-conscious about, is that I don't actually know a lot of video game soundtrack songs by name, because I just don't look them up. So if I ever seem like I'm a fake scientific fan, I'm not. I just listen to his music in very specific circumstances. And the circumstances are the video game. Hi. Hi! How's Persimmon? She's doing very good. We recently had to limit her dry food intake, just, you know, to make sure that she's staying healthy. She is healthy, you know, it's just better to stop while we're ahead before things get to a point where they could be unhealthy. And at first she was very, very mad about that, but she's been on pretty good behavior recently. She's happy and friendly and more content again. Are you hydrated? I have water right here. I do. Okay, look at how empty it is. I've been drinking it this whole video so far. We're getting there. Not a question, but if we met one day, I hope we could hug. Oh, we absolutely can. I am a hugger, like a big bear hugger. Like, I hug people like my life depends on it. So that is not just a possibility, it is a guarantee. Meow. Who do you want to see in concert next? Excellent question. Thank you so much for asking me this. I would like to see an LGBT artist. I am a fan of a lot of artists who are, but I've only been to 1 or 2 concerts for openly LGBTQIA artists. I would really like to see Rebecca Black. I have not had the opportunity to see her, or Haley Kiyoko I would like to see. Which musical do you most want to see live? Damn. I mean, immediately my answer is probably Hadestown, just because I've heard that it's phenomenal, and I feel like I'm gonna want to see Hadestown live before I even attempt to listen to the soundtrack or look into like the plot synopsis or whatever. Like, I kind of just want to go and see it put on by professional cast and let that be what catapults me into appreciating it and loving it. But also on the flip side of that, I think I would like to finally actually see Heathers. I spent many years obsessing over it and never actually seeing like a live performance of it. It's not my favorite musical for a number of reasons, but I cannot deny the grip that it had/has still on me. Congrats on 100 subs, Digi! Might be exposing myself with those heart emojis. No, not at all. I have no idea who you could possibly be. If you could curate your own dream concert, what artists would play and what songs would be on your dream set list? I love that you've asked me this. I love that you specifically have asked me this. I love you so much. Gosh. Okay, I would have to specifically choose who I want to be support and who I'd want to be the main act, right? Like who would be... Oh man, this is gonna be the question that takes me the longest time to answer. Dream set list too, oh my god. I mean, it would have to be Bad Sons as the main act, right? Like, that's my favorite band of all time. It would have to be. Especially because I know Unstable needs to be on there. I have never seen them play that live. That is one of my favorite songs that they have ever done, and it kills me that nobody else seems to agree. I one time at a concert yelled out, "Play Unstable!" because they were joking around about, like, requests. And someone behind me went, "Unstable?" Yeah, Unstable. It's a good song. Why are you here? Any Dream Bad Sons concert has Unstable on the set list. I need to hear them play that song live before I die. Or I'll die. Electric Circus would need to be on there. Nightclub would need to be on there. Sleep Paralysis would need to be on there. They recently started playing that. It took them a long fucking time, but they did. And I almost passed out the first time they started playing it. That's a true story. I'm not kidding. I literally almost passed out. It's because I had heat exhaustion, but my point still stands. Off She Goes would definitely need to be on there. That song means everything to me. 100% Need Patience to be on there. That's another song that means a lot to me. Daft Pretty Boys, but I mean, they always play Daft Pretty Boys for good reason. It slaps. Maybe You Saved Me with a surprise appearance by Paris. I have been anticipating that happening for a while now. I would like to see it. I would like to see it. Heartbreaker. Heartbreaker's usually their encore song. Do I go feral every single fucking time? Yes! Living or Dying. You know why. Probably Apocalypse Whenever. That song makes me cry when they play it live. I would like to scream those lyrics again with them. Honestly, all of Disappear Here. Can I just go back in time to when they did the Disappear Here tour? Fuck it, Swimming in the Moonlight. Can't go wrong with Swimming in the Moonlight. And the opening acts, god. See, because I've already lived a lot of my ideal concerts. I just didn't know at the time that they were, like, my dream concerts. Because I ended up becoming fans of a lot of bands who have opened for other bands I like. I have to say, I want Little Image and Honey to open for them again. They've opened for them separately, but never together. Honestly, Little Image is a great band to hype up the crowd. I'll never forget them being the very first support for the Apocalypse Whenever tour. They know how to get a crowd going, man. We need to start with Little Image, then go into Honey, because Honey will just keep that fucking energy going, because they just have this charisma, dude. The charisma that Honey has. The stage presence is just hypnotic. I have no explanation for what it is about Honey that just sucks you in. I want Little Image to play Deep Cut, because that would be a deep cut. And Honey, they could play anything, but I need to hear Sports with Strangers. Just kidding, Bothering. Honey, play Bothering live. And I think that's everything. So yeah, thank you so much for asking me questions, and I hope my answers satisfied you. This is part of the video where I'm gonna get a little bit sappy. This is part of the video where I'm gonna cry, so let's get it over with. I've been meaning to have me saying this with my words on this channel, just to have it for a very long time, so I just wanted to say that since 2021, things have been really difficult for me. I've had a really rough couple of years with very, very low points, but also tremendous growth. I've missed making content consistently so much. You know, there's a lot of series that ended up being put on hold because of stuff that I was experiencing, and I think we're finally getting to the point where I feel like I can return to a lot of those things. There's going to be a lot of new stuff coming, and I'm just so elated. I can only hope that things just are onward and upward from here. Thank you so much for 100 subscribers and more. It happened again where as soon as I hit 100 subscribers, I was like, wow, I can't believe we made it. It's time to make a video about it. And in a span of time, we're getting the plan to make the video in the works and actually filming it. I've like far surpassed that. I'm closer to 150 now than I am to 100. Blown my expectations out of the water. Haven't done the outro in a minute, have we? I kind of stopped doing intros and outros so much, but let's do one for old time's sake. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time, my little raindrops. Bye!